വിവാദങ്ങൾക്കിടെ കേരളയിലുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട സംവാദം ആരംഭിച്ചു. 3 പ്രതിനിധികൾ കേരളയിലിന് അനുകൂലമായി സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ RVG മേനോൻ മാത്രമാകും ജനകീയ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ ചൂണ്ടിക്കാട്ടുക. അതിനിടെ ജനകീയ പ്രതിരോധ സമിതി ബദൽ സംവാദം സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് സർക്കാരിന് തിരിച്ചടിയായിട്ടുണ്ട്.
I think we'll go on to the next phase of this program, which is a formal brief of introducing all the panelists who are participants in this panel discussion. I will start off with Mr. Subodh Kumar Jain. Mr. Subodh Kumar Jain, his key areas of specialization as an engineering officer on Indian Railways. He was concerned with all aspects of implementation of metro rail systems on a... I think we'll go on to the next phase of this program, which is a formal brief of introducing all the panelists who are participants in this panel discussion. I will start off with Mr. Subodh Kumar Jain. Mr. Subodh Kumar Jain, his key areas of specialization as an engineering officer on Indian Railways. He was concerned with all aspects of implementation of metro rail systems on a project leadership role, including planning, feasibility, funding options, route selection, legal, institutional and contractual for frameworks. He was also looking after contract management of all types of contracts, including design and build EPC contracts, FIDIC conditions, arbitrations and dispute resolutions. He was a key functionary in international project management in the preparation of bid documents, tendering negotiations and mobilization of manpower. And ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, he has been holding an apex role as Secretary to Government of India and looking after the roles of member staff at the outset and then moving on as member engineering to head the organization and looking after the entire organization from a strategic role. Good morning and a warm welcome to you also. Put your hands together and for a warm welcome to Sri Subodh Kumar Jain. Let me take the opportunity to welcome to our midst Sri RVG Menon as the panelist speaking against the motion today. Sri RVG Menon is a very familiar face for all of us. He is a distinguished professor of engineering and he was the principal of Government College of Engineering, Kannur. He was also the director of Agency for Non-Conventional Energy and Rural Technology, ENERT. He is also the author of an introduction of the book, An Introduction to the History and Philosophy of Science, which is a part of engineering curriculum in India. Mr. Menon has served as the president of the Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad People Science Movement. So we have the heart and pulse of the Shastra Sahitya Parishad movement, the heart and pulse of an environmentalist of distinction. Please put your hands together and extend a warm welcome to Sri Menon, Sri RVG Menon. I must start off on an apologetic note. I misspelled your name rather. Dr. Kunjariya P. Isaac is also a very distinguished... Fine. So you are, no need for a formal introduction. But anyway, I am bound by my duties to make a formal introduction. Dr. Kunjariya P. Isaac adorned the role of Vice Chancellor of Kerala Technology University, stepping into the coveted post on 1st of September 2014. He has distinguished himself eminently as an institution builder of repute, as an academic, as a researcher, and also probably credited with the process innovation in manufacturing sand, M-sand. As all of us know, he is here with us to talk on the project, on the motion, which would go on largely to support the cause of the project. So I would take this opportunity to extend a hearty welcome to him and also ask the audience to put your hands together as a gesture of welcome. We have a very familiar face from Trivandrum, Sri S.N. Raghuschandran Nair, who serves as the President of the Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He was also Convener General and past President of CREDAI, and he served as Zonal Advisory Board in the Zonal Advisory Board of LIC. He was Chairman of Airport Users Consultative Committee, Vice President of the Kerala Olympic Association, and a host of functional roles at a leadership level, cutting across sectors, cutting across a gamut of activities. He, if I recall in my brief association with him, he was the voice, the heart and soul of Awake Trivandrum, an influence group, an interest group, and pressure group, whatever you would like to call it, that helps monitor the project and surveillance for the ongoing projects in Trivandrum as a part of engaging actively in a volunteership role in the affairs of the state, particularly with respect to development agenda. Welcome on board Sri Raghuschandran Nair, and put your hands together to welcome him. With these formal words of introduction, let me invite on stage Sri Samyukta to give a brief outline of what this project is all about. And from there, we will go on to the business side of things. Samyukta, please.
Silver Line, the semi-high-speed rail project. In order to meet the growing demand of passenger traffic, third and fourth line in between Thiruvananthapuram and Kasaragod as a semi-high-speed rail corridor is proposed, in which the train can run with a maximum operational speed of 200 km per hour and can reach north to south in just 4 hours. Kerala Rail Development Corporation Limited, a joint venture company of Government of India and Government of Kerala, conceived the project and is tasked with its implementation. This double line rail can run with a maximum operational speed of 200 km per hour in the Silver Line corridor. The corridor will carry around 80,000 passengers per day in the beginning as per the traffic projections. Feasibility study was conducted in 2019 and Railway Board issued in principle approval for the project on 17/12/2019. Detailed project report of Silver Line was prepared thereafter and submitted to the Ministry of Railways in June 2020 for approval. DPR estimates project cost as Rs 63,941 crore. Now the project is before the Ministry of Railways for their approval. As per the DPR, the project, once completed, is expected to enable savings in time, energy and money, thereby channelizing these towards other constructive purposes. As per the DPR, the line will reduce pollution on the roads and congestion, improve safety and reduce dependence on imported fuels. Last mile connectivity and multimodal integration is also envisaged in the DPR.
Thank you, Samyukta, for this brief introduction of what the project is all about. Now, it's time for me to take over and take you through the business side of things. When we talk of Silver Line as a project, what comes to mind immediately is a fundamental question. For Kerala, in the transportation sector and infrastructure development, when was the last time that we did something for the first time? It's a fundamental question I try to address. So if you look back in project history, particularly with reference to development projects of this nature, a big ticket project of this nature on the infrastructure side that we can recall is perhaps shifting our time machine back to the 60s, 69 to 76. We had the first of its kind, double curvature arch dam, Idiki, as part of the Idiki hydroelectric project, being conceived, designed, developed, and then executed in fairly reasonable time with all the project complexities that a project could could be with all the project, all the complexities that a project could factor in, perhaps successfully. This is perhaps the one major success story which I can think of. And then coming back to the present, we are looking at a project with an outlay of close to 64,000 crores, as all of us understand, which intends to take, the strategic intent is to bring in a transformational change in the transport sector infrastructure of the state, which is creaking at its ends thanks to the saturation of the roads, the road traffic, thanks to the delay in completion of projects of railways, including doubling. There are certain delays which are involved, but we have managed to chug along, but not at a pace that is demanding. So perhaps that is another area worth looking at in this transformational case scenario, which presents a case in favor of the project. Okay, now when I go into the details of the project, we are confronted with a reality. What is the reality right now? The project is in a stage of what can aptly be termed as a VUCA kind of, not just business environment, a project environment. A VUCA kind of environment today confronts us as a reality. Volatility and the pace of change in the project narrative, the uncertainties involved in that, the volatility, uncertainty, and complexity of the project finally leading to all-round ambiguity in the way in which the project is positioned right now at this stage. We are at the crossroads. But having said that, it's a matter of pride for us that we encourage debate. Decision-making process is the outcome of continuous debate and discussions and accommodating various shades of opinion, including, the voice of dissenters and the decision maker going ahead with the feedback received from from multiple perspectives, from the shades of public opinion, and across different constituents in a multi-stakeholder environment. So I'm sure that the voices of dissent will also be listened to, and let us start off on an optimistic note, on a positive note, that the project can probably be conceived of by accommodating multiple scenarios and evaluating each scenario and going ahead with whatever is most appropriate in public interest, in the interest of the state and the interest of the nation. With these few opening remarks, I would now lay out the business rules for this panel discussion, which is each speaker who supports the motion and also is against the motion is given a time of 15 minutes, a capping time of 15 minutes, and we can follow a certain, probably a sequence in the first round, and then the 15-minute limit or capping of that limit need not be taken as an absolute figure. There could be areas where people have to chip in. In that case, it may extend beyond the 15-minute limit. That is understood, appreciated, and but to the extent possible, we'll try to stick on to the time limit. And this will be followed by rebuttal and, should we say, response round, rebuttal and response round for each participant. We have 3 participants to speak for the motion, and we have 1 participant who will be speaking against the motion. But what happens is, ultimately, the rebuttal and response round takes care of the, the differences and the observations and the shades of opinion being expressed, and it will also help us to reconcile certain differences, hopefully. And beyond that, it will be open to the audience. I'm failing in my duty if I don't welcome all of you. First of all, the audience who are actively engaged in these proceedings and who have come all the way from different walks of life to be part of this panel discussion, and also those who are viewers across the social media platforms and also across different channels which may be airing this show. I can also make this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all of them. The moderator's role ultimately is to serve as a bridge between, as a connect between the audience, the viewers, and also the expert panelists who are here to address the concerns, the doubts, misgivings, apprehensions. So I propose this motion as in pure and simple terms as the Silver Line project, challenges, concerns, and the road ahead. If, with all your consent, hopefully, from the panelist side. It is Silver Line project, challenges, concerns, and the road ahead. No, it's not a motion. It is just a topic, a topic which is subject for introduction. Flowing out of that, whatever your thought processes are, we can take it on further. So at the outset, for opening this discussion, may I now invite Dr. Kunjariya with your opening remarks and your take on the project.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan Menon. Very good morning to all of you. My fellow panelists, especially Professor R.V.G. Menon, who was my teacher and my boss. In the sense, he was the principal at Government Engineering College where we worked together. This is an opportunity welcoming all of you to this panel discussions on the challenges, the concerns, and the road ahead of how we build a transportation system for the state of Kerala. I consider, because my specialization is transportation engineering, so I consider this project as part of the development of a transportation system for the state of Kerala. Okay. See, I just take you why or how we should go about in developing a transportation system for the state of Kerala. To be completed in 2022, but started in 2017 or so. It is expected to be completed. എന്ന് പറയുന്ന പദ്ധതിയായിട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ കാണുന്നത്. സോ നേരത്തെ നമ്മൾ ആലോചിച്ചതുപോലെ ഇപ്പോഴും now we are thinking of a high speed connectivity between the north and south of Kerala. അതാണ് ഇന്ന് now we call it as Kerala or Silver Line or whatever it is. അപ്പോൾ so this is അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ when our roads is ഈ റോഡ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ഒരു ലെവൽ ഓഫ് സർവീസ് ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്കൊരു കംഫർട്ടബിൾ സ്പീഡിൽ ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്യാവുന്ന ഒരു സ്പീഡ്. സി ടുഡേസ് നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ ലെവൽ ഓഫ് സർവീസ് ABCDE ആണ്. A is the best. എയിലൊന്നും ട്രാവൽ ചെയ്യാൻ നമുക്ക് റോഡ് പണിയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് C and D ലെവലിലേക്കെങ്കിലും നമ്മൾ ഈ റോഡ് പണിത് കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും NH66 ബാക്കിയുള്ള റോഡ് ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് വിച്ച് ഇസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ് ത്രൂ കിഫ്ബി ആൻഡ് തിങ്സ് ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ് അതെല്ലാം കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് എൻ്റെ കണ്ടീഷൻ അനുസരിച്ച് മോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദീസ് റോഡ്സ് വിൽ ലീഡ് ടു ലെവൽ ഓഫ് സർവീസ് ഈ ലെവലിലേക്ക് വരും. അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ ദി ഓൾട്ടർനേറ്റീവ് ഈസ് ടു ഗോ ഇൻ ഫോർ എ സിൽവർ ലൈൻ ഓർ എ ഹൈ സ്പീഡ്. സോ ഐ വാസ് ട്രൈങ് ടു എസ്റ്റാബ്ലിഷ് ടു തിങ്സ് ഹിയർ. വൺ ഈസ് that what is the problem what we face today and നമ്മൾ അതിൽ നിന്ന് എങ്ങനെ overcome ചെയ്യും. How do we plan a road or a transportation network? This is an absolutely essential one. To plan a road network, road plus railway network, maybe you can include the the water transportation also. That also is a must, an integrated one. And here നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് all this, when you talk, the intermodal transfer വളരെ സുഗമമായിട്ട് നടക്കണം. This is an important one, intermodal. ഞാൻ ഒരു ടെർമിനലിൽ ചെന്നിറങ്ങിയാൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ ഒരു ടെർമിനലിൽ ചെന്ന് വണ്ടി പാർക്ക് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കൺവീനിയൻസ് എനിക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവണം. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ മെട്രോ പണിതു. മെട്രോയ്ക്ക് പാർക്കിംഗ് ഈസ് എ ബിഗ് പ്രോബ്ലം. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻ ടു ദ one which we propose now. We should have intermodal transfer, parking facilities. I mean, intermodal, when you say, it should have facility from private vehicles to get parked. There should be a bus terminus. There should be a silver line terminal, or then there should be a regular railway terminal. All happening, an easy transfer of passengers. That must-ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ensure ചെയ്യേണ്ട ഒരു സംഗതിയാണ്. I was told that, I just asked about it. See, Kochuveli is the starting point, which is very inside the city today. It is very near to all these places. It seems that unlimited parking, bus terminus, and the seamless. So this kind of a facility should be available in all these places. See, this is something which, now one more thing which I just wanted to tell is that the thing is that will it boost the economy of the state of Kerala? I can only give a few examples. One, probably